Welcome back to the classroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to tell your artist's story. But before we get there, I want to talk about brand, the role of a brand in your business, and why your artist's story is so important in the development of your brand as an artist and the brand for your business. Your brand proves your work's value. So it's something you should actually build your entire business around. One of the great things about creative businesses is that you have an advantage over other types of business here. If you go to a grocery store, you see consumer brands all over the place. And each of these brands are faceless. They have to invent a story to connect with their customers. And they spend millions of dollars a year doing that. Your story is real. It doesn't have to be invented. It just has to be told. So that's what this lesson's about. The lesson has 3 goals. First, I want to define what a brand is in the context of creative businesses. We'll link your story to your brand, and then I'll teach you a simple way to describe your artist's story. And then finally, I'll show you how to apply it at the creative build. Let's start by defining brand. A lot of artists treat their work like a commodity. They position it that way, they price it that way, and they also brand it that way. But creative brands are by definition luxury brands. Everything you create, even if it's shared digitally and repeated over time, is unique. The act of creation from you happens one time in history. That's extreme scarcity, and it's what luxury brands try to emulate. What that means for you is that branding is a really important skill for building your business. So let's build that skill. I want you to think about luxury brands that you know, like Ferrari. And what do you think of when you think of the Ferrari brand? Is it the logo, the typeface, the colors? Well, maybe. But the first thing that comes to mind is probably luxury. It's lifestyle. It's performance. It's something that most people can't attain. And describing a brand in that way is different from how we often think about brands. The logos, the names, the typeface, the colors. We're describing the Ferrari brand in abstract terms. So I want you to just accept that the concept of brand is an abstract. It's not something tangible like colors or typeface or logos or names. Brand is a feeling that people get when they remember an experience with you. Brand looks more like this. This driver could be driving a Ferrari or a Fisher-Price car, but what's going to stick with her is the experience she had while driving it. And that's what brand does. Brand is an outcome of experiences. It's not something that you can speak into existence or market into existence. And one of the best examples that I like to use when I teach the concept of branding is autumn. Autumn has a brand that we experience through our 5 senses. So let's try a quick exercise. I want you to see if you can describe the brand of autumn. What color is autumn? What does autumn sound like? What does autumn feel like to the touch? What does autumn taste like? What does it smell like? When you think of those descriptions of autumn that you experience through your senses, what do you feel? You feel comfort? Do you feel connection? Maybe reprieve from a hot summer? Those memories and that feeling is based on your experience with autumn. When I go through this exercise with my students from the United States answer those questions one way, but students who come from other countries often answer them in a different way. Autumn means something different if you grew up near the equator. It doesn't look anything like this. The point is that brand is an abstract, and it's an outcome of experiences. So while we often think about the tangible aspects of brand, like logo and colors and copy and other things that influence brand identity, branding isn't actually visual design. It's experience design, with the goal of creating a memorable experience for buyers and pleasant associations when that experience is remembered. So how do you do that? Well, this is where your head start matters. You already have a compelling experience to work with, and it's your life experience as a creative. Your goal is to invite your buyers into that experience, to make them part of it. And that inclusion is why people will remember you. Ultimately, why they will buy your work and recommend it to other people. Your goal is to invite buyers into your experience as an artist. Telling your story helps you do that. So I want to give you a simple framework on how you might describe your story. There are lots of ways to do this, but I use a simple 3-step framework at the Creative Build just to jog your thinking and to put it into words so that you can build other things around it. Your story has 3 acts. Your spark, what started you creating, your drive, the mission that keeps you creating, that compels you to make something new every time you do that, and your message, the lesson or the insight that you want your work to send to the world. In tool 1, you're just writing your story down. We're going to put it to use later on, because by writing it down now, it makes everything else easier. Finding the right buyers, connecting with them in the right places, pricing your work, having strong sales conversations, even finding the right partners. All the other work you do at the Creative Build is built off of this foundation. The initial story that you write down starts as a hypothesis. So I want to show you what an experiment might look like if you were to test the hypothesis of how you tell your story. Maybe your hypothesis is that your buyers will really connect with your drive, the mission, or the reason that you create work. And you can run an experiment by creating content that showcases your drive or your mission. Maybe your success signal is an expected increase in content engagement. So that's the setup for your experiment card. You make the content, you measure the results over time, and then at some point in the future, you observe the results. Maybe your results show lower views. You didn't get the reach you expected, but you had a lot more comments on content that showcases your mission. A result like that signals that you're finding your niche. People are resonating with your drive, even if it's a smaller group of people. And so your next move might be to continue for a while and then to remeasure to see if you can expand on that success. So that's your definition of brand and your story and how the two fit together. Now let's go to the creative build and see how you actually do it in the workspace. So here we are in the workspace, and you can get here just by clicking on tool number 1 in the title strip. And this is where you'll see some patterns across every tool. The first one is at the top. There's some instructions on how to use the tool, as well as some copy that helps you get into the right mindset to use it. To get started, you click start and you go to the first section. And in tool 1, it's a guided exercise. It's fill in the blanks. You're going to write down and then summarize the 3 parts of your artist story that I talked about in the presentation. Your spark, then your drive, and then your message. But we don't just leave it there. I want to begin to tie that to your brand identity and the expression of that story in the real world. So after you've written your spark, your drive, and your message, I want you to think about the components of brand identity, like personality, the colors that you're going to use to represent your brand, the typography that you're going to use to represent your brand. Those 3 things are a good foundation, but your business is unique and your brand is unique, so you might want to define more. So after the brand identity section, have a mood board worksheet that you can use to visually describe your brand, to make that experience that you want to create from your story more tangible and easily recalled by buyers in the future. And then finally, to tie to your planning board, at the end of tool 1 in every tool, there's a space to enter action cards. Because once you've done your reflection on your story and your brand identity, some priorities are probably going to pop into your head, so you can capture them here. Now that we've talked about brand, your story is the foundation for your brand. It's time to think about who's likely to connect with that brand and that experience that you create for buyers. It's trying to find your buyers and map them and learn about them. And that's what we'll accomplish with tool 2.